The surface of the Earth is roughly 196 million miles squared. Most people spend a majority of their life in a relatively small area of this. There are more than 8 billion people experiencing life at this moment. The average human lifespan globally is 73 years. What is the significance of your existence? Meaning is a pointless word, a conception, quite literally. Isn't meaning really just a definition for the task that something accomplishes? Asking what the meaning of life is like asking what the meaning of air is. Air just is. It doesn't have a meaning. The arrogance of the human psyche, historically and religiously, to put us above all other things, to say that we're made in the image of God, to put us second to nothing but God. It's to say that we're the center of the universe, that all of this was built for us. Consciousness is supposed to be this unique thing that humans experience, but we can't even define where it comes from or what it really even is. It's like a simile to the soul. The experience of being you is consciousness, like a flashlight illuminating a small part of the mind to bring it into mental awareness. Consciousness could merely just be an illusion, a survival mechanism of sorts. The mind is a product of the brain. And isn't consciousness almost defined as just the ability to feel suffering, or the fear of death, or being turned off, or deleted? It really gives heed to fear management theory, that maybe everything we do is just to find a way to immortalize ourselves in some subconscious type of way. To ask what's the purpose, but to consume until we've been consumed. Some say that love is the purpose. But what do you do when love is gone from you? Are we not all just a bunch of Sisyphuses? As with Sisyphus, the man condemned to push a rock up a hill to let it roll down the other side and continue to roll it back up that hill continuously, repeatedly, for eternity. It sometimes reminds me of Friedrich Nietzsche's thought experiment, eternal reoccurrence. The idea that at the end of your life, you will have to experience this life over again, exactly the same way, over and over and over again for eternity. If you were given the option to do that, would you take that choice? Would you choose to live this life over and over again? Maybe this is a good way to look at things because you can absorb it slightly different, have a better outlook. Try to find it more enjoyable because you wouldn't want to feel nothing but suffering for your entire life and then live that over and over again. So I find it a useful thought experiment, but of course, it's just a thought experiment. Some say the secret is to come up with your own meaning. In fact, that's the only way that you can find meaning. But the simple truth is, even if you find meaning, it doesn't change the fact that you are insignificant. Even leaders, and the most famous of us, will be forgotten. The only things we remember about them are simple stories that were told, carried down, and that's not really remembering somebody. That's just knowing that someone did something. So we really do just have this small amount of this tiny little instance from a forever before and a forever after of nothingness, and a small minuscule fraction of existence in between. And that moment is now. So out of all eternal existence and time and space, you exist right here, right now, for just this little itty-bitty glimpse, this sliver of time. And this sliver of time is all the time that you get out of the vastness of forever. But in the end, there really is a purpose. There is a meaning. And that meaning is to maintain equilibrium in the chemical responses in the brain, to fulfill hunger when you're hungry, to fulfill thirst when you're thirsty, to seek out companionship when you're lonely. And maybe even as human beings, as we have foresight and can predict the future, as we are just predicting machines, mechanical organisms capable of predicting the future based on our experiences in the past, to create a long-term plan to maintain stability and survival, as to not just chase momentary pleasures to the point where that kills us. So maybe the purpose to life is really so that you can survive as long as you can. So technically, your point is to avoid suffering and try not to die. And that's it. That's the point of life. So, don't die.